Hi my lovelies, welcome to the Gods Enchantments channel. My name is Claire and today we're going to be doing a walkthrough and review of the Pure Magic Oracle deck. So if you are brand new here, welcome to the channel. If you enjoy this video, then I would love it if you were to subscribe and become part of the GE YouTube family. If you enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up and a comment down below. It really helps us out with all the YouTube algorithms and everything. And if you are not already, do come over and join our closed Facebook group. You'll find me in there every single day, so you can actually interact with me personally. We have a lot of bonus content over there, videos, early access to courses, to crystals, and all sorts of fun things. Full moon, new moon PDFs, although right now the laptop is in for fixing. Don't get me started on that, guys. I think I'll do a story time in group with that and a load of updates in the next coming week. But yes, do come over and join us. The links to everything will be in the little drop down under the title of this video. So on with what we're here for. The Pure Magic Oracle. Now I've been working with this deck. I've put it all back in order so that you can actually see, you know, how it would come to you. But I wanted to be able to not just do a walkthrough first impressions. I wanted to work with the deck and speak to you about how I've been working with it, because for me this doesn't work as what you would expect from perhaps many other Oracle decks on the market. So it is published by Rockpool. You can get it on Amazon, Book Depository, all the places that you expect to find Oracle and Tarot cards. It is a soft touch box, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite things. We hope to do our own deck in future, and I would love to be able to do the soft touch, but it is super duper expensive. Oh, I'll show you the back, sorry. So then this is the back of the box here, and this is a 36 card deck. You also get the book inside, which is quite extensive, and again we'll take a little look. So as we undo it, you have details, and this is top and bottom. So I really like this where they put a color inside, they put a logo or a symbol or something that connects back to the cards, because it just makes it a nicer experience. It makes the cards look more well thought out, you know, for collectors or people brand new alike. So this is your book, which again is soft touch on the outside. Let's make sure that you are all in focus. And this obviously is our deck. So let's take those out. Here's the back of the deck. So we have the crows or ravens around the outside. We have a full moon, 2 crescents. We have plant life around here as well. And that's the back of each of the cards. So our book itself is a nice thick book. It is color and it's divided by color. That's because this particular deck is divided into the 4 elements. So you have earth, air, fire and water. I wish there had been a source section in here, but obviously the artist was not called to go down that route. So when you come into the book, there's a little foreword here. This deck is apparently based on the Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells. Some of you may have that book from your collection. It was very, very popular about, what, 10 years ago? Something like that. So you've got a foreword in here. We have obviously our contents page that you would expect, again with the elemental breakdown, the number on the cards because the cards are numbered, and then the page that you'll be able to find their write-up. We have introduction, how to prepare for a reading, and there is a dedication here for your Oracle deck. It's not one I'm personally called towards myself, but I do have my own blessing and dedication that I use and my own way of doing that. Many of you may have done my intuitive tarot and oracle reading course, either live with me or self-study from the website, so you'll have a dedication there if this one doesn't call to you. But if you're brand new, then this is a great place to start. It explains about why we do it, how we do it, and what a difference that makes to connecting to your deck and moving forward. You then have just 2 spreads in here as well. So the elemental body spread, for example, this covers all of the chakras here. And then you have a little write-up on each element. So this is the write-up for Earth, which is the first, and then we go into the cards themselves. Now, when it gets to the card write-up, here's where we start to differ from other oracle decks on the market. So we have our main word, ancestors. The card is numbered. We'll look at the cards in a moment. And then we have the few keywords, if you like, for that card to help you if you don't want to use the book, if you want to intuitively read, or just to give you that heads up on the energy of the card as you get to know them. Now, when you come into the book, it doesn't give you a reading per se. So if you're someone that's very used to opening the book and it will be, I don't know what card it could be. It could be a card for a particular Sabbath, and then it will tell you a bit about the Sabbath, but then it will give you a reading of how this applies to your life right now and a detailed write-up of that card, work you can do, what the card's showing you, all of that. This is kind of worded a little bit differently. It more explains the concept of the ancestors and working with the ancestors. And then you do have the pure wisdom, which, for example, dig a little deeper and remember that we are brought here by the stories of our families, no matter how strong or weak our family bonds may be. Do not ignore messages that arise at this time, for there is energy waiting for you to tap into that will accelerate your path and direction. Are you in need of advice on a certain course of action? So you can see there's a little bit of guidance there, but there's a lot that's not specifically about the card in a reading perspective. And then you have a magical hint over here, which some of them are a little strange, others not so much. So magical hint, are you a messy eater? If food constantly falls off your fork, if it is always dropping onto your clothes, this may be your ancestors telling you they want a word with you. Set up some communication and see if your table habits suddenly become neater. That's not really something I personally feel called to or agree with, but there's such a mix in here, and decks are very personal to who creates them. It's their vision at the end of the day that we are working with, so that might be something that really does call to you. And then you have a pure magic section, which can have anything from a little spell to do, or a little bit of information on a crystal, or something to do with the card itself. Setting up an altar, for example, and we can see we've got the ancient amulets here. It just tells you about the origin of jewelry, the origin of amulets for good fortune, and what the word means. So there's a lot of explanation on what these magical terms are. So if you are wanting to learn magical terms, if you are wanting to explore your magical path further, explore tools, explore the elements, then this gives you a nice breakdown of those sorts of things. So you can see how differences are now arising. And then the pure wisdom here, own your authority and wear the badge of your magic loud and proud. Do not forgo protection and do not rush into anything that needs no urgency. Be patient and draw your power symbols to protect and energize your home, your spirit, and your body. Magical powers rise from your fingertips to transform all you work on into powerful fruition. Your ability to weave love into your vocation is a gift from the gods. The answers lie within the lines of your palms. Now, you can see how we don't have information here on the lines of our palms and you know, technically you can take it magic in your hands. Some you could take it actually about palm reading, for example, but it's not really a message in the traditional sense. And you would need a little bit of background to know how to take this further, to know how to draw your own power symbols for protection for your home spirit and your body. And there's not really a lot of instruction about that. It does give you some symbols to draw these symbols on paper, or purchase these charms and fashion your own bracelets and necklaces, or use in mojo bags, or to activate their power. So for protection, blue eye beads, peacock feathers, fans, magic hands, horned hand, hand of Fatima, Hamza. So you can see, if you don't know what these things are, this is going to be great for you to be able to go and do further research into and really grow your path. So I see this more as a deck of learning, a deck of growing, of learning about magical tools, of learning about ways to work magically. But the info starts here, but it doesn't take you all the way. So then you have that all the way through. You change colors as you go through the elements. The card setup is the exact same for all of them until we get to the back of the book, where there's a little bit here about the author and a little bit here about the illustrator. So that is your book. Okay, so the cards themselves, we will be starting in, well, we will if I have them the right way around. There we go. Start in Earth with number 1. So number 1 is the Ancestors card. Now again, it's not the richest of imagery here, but you could certainly read into it. You could certainly meditate with these cards. And for me, that's how I've been working with them, as a ritual deck, as a deck that is on my altar, that I pull out the cards relevant to the magical work that I am doing. If you are in our Facebook group, or you do follow us on Instagram, you will see a picture from the new moon just gone, where I actually have 2 of these cards set up that were appropriate to the work I was about to do on my altar. And I was calling in more of the energy of these cards to my working space. But for me, they do not work as a past, present, future oracle type deck. They are much more of a active spiritual advancement, spell and ritual craft cards, to add to your practice, to connect with energies better, to meditate on these cards, to journey with these cards, to pair crystals and herbs with them. For example, if you were going to make yourself a magical amulet and you had a lovely gemstone bracelet like this kunzite one, and you're going to make intention jewelry out of that, which is something I've spoken about a lot in group, YouTube, and through our academy, then you could pull out the ancient amulet card, do your work with the amulet. Let me grab, I must have something nearby. Here we go. Let's grab a bracelet. So say I have worked with this bracelet, I may have anointed it, passed it through smoke, programmed it as an amulet. I maybe have a sigil or something else I want to do, and then I might place it on this card or in front of this card on my altar to charge overnight and then be ready for use the next day. So that is one of the ways in which I work with the cards. Okay, so we have some tree magic in here as well. The Earth Mother card. Gnomes. Hecate's Path. I think this is an absolutely beautiful card. This will be coming out and going on my shadow work altar for sure. Herbal Craft. I've just finished teaching our second year of green and kitchen witchery, so this was like the next level up, and this card featured quite heavily in that. So with a lot of the work I was doing, it was on my altar, I was showing my students that. So again, I bring them out when this energy is appropriate and I want to bring in more of that energy and I want to focus myself and my energy. So if you're someone that has trouble focusing when you get into circle, when you sit down at your altar, when you're about to do meditation or journey, these can help bring your focus in. Hidden Familiars, Vervain Everlasting. I love this. I do love a Herbie card myself. Then we move into the next element. So you straight away see the change in the color of the card, but also the imagery at the top. So we've got the 9 and we've got the leaves here. Now we have the beautiful air and obviously next to the number. So we have astral travel, songbirds, levitation, lovely flower of life here. Mugwort dreams. Now I wanted to, another reason for me doing, let's just move these so we don't get confused. I've been using, this has been out of this deck on my altar. Now I have quite a few of these. These are actually on the website. It will be linked below if you don't have a card holder at home. But I like to place the card in the card holder. So, and I've had the Mugwort Dreams one. So I put it in one of my holders. And this is a mugwort oil that I have been infusing for a while now. It normally has crystals on top and around the side as well because I activate and do my oil infusions involving crystals. But this sits like that on my altar. The oil sits right in front of it. And I have my crystals around the whole thing. So I am really connecting in to the power and the energy of that wonderful herb. So this is a favorite way for me to work with them. And another example how I incorporate them into my altar and space. So we have the sylphs, we have secret seances, we have telekinesis, mantra medicine, and raising winds. So this is if you like your elemental card. If you wanted to work with the element of air, you could bring out specific cards to represent. So now obviously we are moving along again and into the beautiful fire cards. I mean, just look, I love the change of color. I love these for my altar. Snake skin, I mean, Baraka, power, strength, force, and expansion. This is a really nice, powerful card that could go onto your altar. Drawing down the sun. I have had these out as well. Salamander. Gorgeous. We do have a few deities in here. There's not a ton of them, but there are a couple. So we have the goddess Bridget here. Burning Man. So lovely. Belladonna visions. Drawing down the moon. Florida water. Mirror magic, great card to have. If you're doing divination with your other decks, you can bring in this card because it works well as an all-round divination. But if you are doing divination with normal mirrors, if you're doing it with obsidian, this would be a card to bring out. Opening circle, this is the one of the ones you'll see on my new moon altar. Closing circle, and witch's wounds. So that is the deck there. So as you can see from the deck, they're not your traditional oracle setup. They don't have the traditional reading in the book in the sense that many of the others do, where they give you this long write-up of how this card could be fitting into your energy right now and the things to look at. It's much more of a working deck for magical practice to my mind personally, you may, if you have this deck and you use this as a general oracle deck for past, present, future, then do let us know down below how you like to work with it and how you found it fits into your practice. Because as I always say with all decks, not every deck is going to appeal to every person. Not every person is going to use every deck in the same way. So it really is a personal thing when we choose our decks and when we begin to work with them at home and connect in with them. But if you are looking for a deck where you have a card for a lot of your magical workings that you can pull out and use as a centerpiece in like a card holder on your altar, for example, if you're looking for a deck that's going to show you different aspects of working magic and ritual that you can then go on to explore deeper yourself. So it gives you the starting point, but you're willing to then go on and learn more about it and you're slightly newer to your path, then that might be how you find this deck works for you. But the card stock, it's not super flimsy, it's not super, like, it's not a 10 for me, but it's certainly not really low down there. I have used these quite a lot, but I can't speak to shuffling because honestly, I haven't done a lot of shuffling with them. I have been using them strictly as a ritual based deck, so I can't talk to the edges because they've not had a lot of shuffling done. But judging by the card, I think they will be reasonably long going. They are also, it's worth a mention, these are more a traditional satiny card finish. They are not the lovely finish of the book and the box, and that is probably down to cost because I know myself from looking into it, the most expensive type of printing is on this type of paper. So I can completely understand, you know, especially as it's not an individual and it is being put out by Rockpool, why they didn't go for the soft touch for the cards themselves. But all in all, I absolutely love this deck. For me, it works for what I need it for. For me, it is a pure magic oracle, as the name suggests. It is one that's on my altar, one I'm pulling the cards from. If I had to mark it in essence as an actual oracle deck where we do spreads for past, present, future, maybe take a look at the 12 months of the year, I have not found this to be effective. I've tried a few readings with it and it just doesn't come close to my favorite decks that I use all the time. It doesn't give the depth for me personally, but for you this could be exactly what you're looking for that kind of work. So as I mentioned, I hope that you have found this helpful. If you do have this deck, do let me know down below how you are actually working with it. I would love to hear from you. And that is it from me. I will be back very soon with another video. In the meantime, do come over and join me over in our Facebook group. But stay well, stay magical, and I will speak to you very soon. Blessed be.